Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Zone, episode number 20. Now, before we really start with this, because there's a lot going on, I do want to make something clear. Our original intention was going to be covering Hard to Kill, 0 Hour, and NXT UK TakeOver.
Hi, I'm P in the Gallery. So let me explain to you what happened. So apparently MLW 0 Hour is a regular show.
It wasn't promoted as a regular show.
It was promoted as a pay-per-view, but it was a regular show. So next time we'll be good and active, and we will remember that.
I was ill-advised about that. So what we'll do?
Okay, and then
we're gonna
shush. And then Hard to Kill, which is happening right now as we're talking, is
our stream was being absolute AIDS. Like it was terrible.
It was AIDS. So
we were getting so frustrated that we just decided that we're just gonna do it later. But also, there are some things that happened.
So anyway, if you are on this podcast right now expecting us to talk about the pay-per-view events this weekend, it is not going to happen.
We're going to talk about it next week.
So we are switching next week's topic with this week's topic.
Yep.
This week's topic is all about La Parka, who recently died, and all of the other wrestling-related deaths that occurred.
For in-ring action.
Right.
We're not going to count like Chris Benoit or anything.
We're not talking outside ring action. We're talking in-ring injuries that result in death or in-ring deaths.
Right.
So we will talk about that, but before we get to that...
no.
Very exciting story just happened. Tiger Height... We are recording this on Sunday night, and he just found out about this. I just heard about this an hour ago.
But wait, wait. Peanut Gallery, before we get into anything, we need to be sure that everyone is aware that these are still allegations.
They are still allegations.
It's innocent until proven guilty, so we're going to do this with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
Right.
But I think that they'll stay allegations because I don't think there's anything that can be prosecuted in court for it because it is beyond...
But we've already seen the effects of it.
Right, it is beyond the legal statutes of these allegations.
Well, not only that, but there's no way on actually proving this happened unless there's like video and actual evidence. But we've already seen the effects of these allegations go through, and I think any company who does anything at this point with Tessa Blanchard are fucking insane.
Oh, man. So we are going to go right into the Dragon's Den here, and I'm not talking about the Canadian version of Shark Tank. We are going
or the Japanese pay-per-view.
That's true, but...
Wait, Dragon's Den? Oh, I was talking about Dragon Gate. Sorry.
No, Dragon's Den. And we are going to talk about the allegations presented to Tessa Blanchard.
So this started...
Okay, so hold on. Let me preface this.
So
this is me.
No, wait. Before we even start, I'm going to say that since I just learned about this not even 10 minutes ago... Peanut Gallery's really going to take a hold of this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Because Tiger High is taking hold of the
topic of next, yeah.
So here is what I'm going to preface this, and then I'm going to present the allegations. So Tessa Blanchard tweeted something the other day. She said something to the effect of, hey, women, let's support one another. Cool things happen. Because obviously, as you know, recording this on Sunday night, Tessa Blanchard is going for a major promotions world champion.
Right.
So she could be the first woman to ever hold the Impact World Champion, which is
history-making
event right here.
This is the first time ever that a woman is going for a North American main champion, a North American male champion like this.
Right. That has happened once before in Japan.
It didn't.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
A long time ago it did, yes. There is one instance of at the time it was a major I mean,
Now,
it could be
wait,
like a territory, but major.
Okay, so so since the territory days.
Right. This has never happened since the territory days. There is an opportunity for Tessa Blanchard to...
China never went for the WWF champion. Okay.
But there is a... So Tessa Blanchard could become the Impact World Champion tonight. However... the tweet that she sent out about, hey, women, let's support one another, brought about some very interesting allegations against her. The biggest allegation I saw was, according to Chelsea Green and other sources, so this was from other wrestlers.
Chelsea Green and Allysin Kay, who is the current NWA Women's Champion, made the biggest allegations, but there have been other allegations that support these claims. Go ahead.
So she spat in the face of another professional wrestler and called her the N-word.
She was black, too.
She was black in Japan, and I think it was La Rosa...
You're the one who does this. You should have this in... Well, no. Get your shit out.
Oh, my God.
No, if you want to take hold of this, you need this information.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't remember the wrestler's name. I remember all the tweets.
You should have... I mean, okay, like I said, journalism integrity, Peanut Gallery. Come on.
God.
This is a huge story, and you want to get this right.
Okay, so...
I'm not cutting this out either. This is all in there.
Oh, I know.
Making you look like a jackass.
No, it is La Rosa.
La Rosa.
La Rosa, who currently wrestles in Puerto Rico.
And also, if she wants to come on here and discuss about the show, we're more than happy to have her on.
So, apparently, according to Chelsea Green, she had spat in the face of La Rosa in Japan and called her the N-word. Bad stuff. And then...
what time did this happen?
This happened in... Let's see, when was she... Oh, it happened in 2017.
So
2017.
So this didn't happen like 2003. This wasn't like a Lars Sullivan situation. This was not a Lars Sullivan situation because Lars Sullivan did that like way back.
This is worse.
This is very much worse.
This is worse.
Obviously, these are still allegations, and we're going to claim it as such, but multiple sources have claimed this. Multiple people has said, oh, I was in the locker room. I mean, in the locker room.
This shit was on Forbes. Forbes talked about this, and the only reason it came up was because Tessa Blanchard tweeted...
This is very bad.
That she wanted women to support one another. Cool things happen. Okay? If you don't want this kind of shit popping up, don't tweet shit like that.
Also, there wasn't just this situation. This was the biggest. There were multiple cases of bullying, belittling.
Yes, all sorts of crap that Tessa Blanchard did. So
allegations still. It's still allegations, but the thing is that there are more people who say that it did happen than the one person who said who didn't. And the court of law is saying that Tessa Blanchard's guilty, or at least court of public opinion.
Chelsea Green said you've consistently put down, bullied, belittled countless female coworkers, including me. Is that support? This was January 11th, 2020.
Yep, direct tweet that's still up right now too.
Yep, at 10:24 a.m. Literally less than 24 hours ago, this kind of shit happened.
Also, Chelsea Green, if you want to come on the show and talk about more of what Tessa Blanchard did, don't hesitate to give me a call.
And Allysin Kay, who is friends with La Rosa.
Allysin Kay, like I said, current NWA Women's World Champion.
This is when she said, remember when you spat in the black woman's face and called her the N-word in Japan? Was that you supporting women? So the problem is twofold. One, that she did it. That's obviously a big problem. But the other thing is that she then tweeted out that women should essentially be supporting her because she's about to go for a major North American women's champion. I'm like, the fuck? I mean, honestly...
Now, Tessa responded, I will say, to her credit, in a non-confrontive, very much, oh, you could have just talked to me about this way, which, I mean, okay... I'm sorry, Tessa, I love you, and I think you're a great wrestler, but at the same time, if these allegations are true, you should just say, I did it. I'm sorry. You move on. People have gone through a hell of a lot worse than what this is, and they still came out a lot better for it.
But see, the thing is...
Denying it is not helping your situation in this day and age.
No, it's not, because we really need to know if this... We want to hear from La Rosa. We want to hear from the source.
We are seeing multiple people come out with this who have been there, but we're opening up the line. Send me an email, majesticproductionchannel@gmail.com. Let's set up an interview. I want to hear from essentially the mouth of the person who got this.
I want to hear from Chelsea Green.
Let's have multiple people. Yeah,
I want to hear from Tessa Blanchard, and I want to hear from La Rosa. I want to hear from all three of them. I want to see if these allegations are true. And we normally don't report on stories until it is.
But there are too many people who corroborate the story. There are too many people who are there that say, this is literally exactly what happened. And
it's featured on every news site. It's featured on Forbes. I mean,
it's flooded. This is going to overshadow all of Hard to Kill, all of NXT UK TakeOver, everything. I'm sorry.
And like I said, the reason that we're not doing the pay-per-view tonight is because of we've just had issues all weekend with technology.
Oh, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
Obviously, we're going to do a lot better, and we're going to have it next week.
Yes, next week we are going to do TakeOver. Next week we are going to do Hard to Kill. But I think that because of the problems, I think we switch this week and next week and just say, okay, let's talk about this now, and then next week we'll talk about the pay-per-views. But still,
This is too big not to cover at this point.
I mean, this is I'm curious to see kind of how this progresses.
I'm curious as well. And we're not obviously going to be the first people who report on this because one, I just heard of it. And two, like I said, I've always had the thing of let's not cover the news first, let's cover it right. That's why we say all of this are allegations.
These are
we're not throwing Tessa Blanchard under the bus, but these tweets are still on Twitter.
Right.
We have the corroborating evidence, and we're not saying for an absolute fact that you're guilty of this because we're not.
Yeah, but I think that Tessa...
the court of public opinion is going to differ from what would be claimed in court. Let's put it that way.
So, anyways, I think that the timing, and there are a lot of people say, well, the timing is wrong. But see, here's the thing about the timing of this. I think that the timing of doing something like this is absolutely appropriate.
I think so, too.
I think so. Because you don't want a woman who is about to make history tarnish a legacy like that.
Right.
You don't... you want someone who actually does support women.
There is a company that did respond to these allegations already. What was the name of the company?
I think it was like World Extreme Wrestling or
Let's
something.
try that again. What is the name of the company?
Oh my God, fine.
We should. Peanut Gallery, come on. Like, if you want to cover this, you cover it right. Don't cover it first. Oh. So there is a company, at least to what I'm aware of, that had
Heavy Metal Wrestling.
Heavy Metal Wrestling.
So it's an independent promotion, but they pulled her from the event.
For the light of the allegations, they made the smart move, let's put it that way.
Yeah, and people are like, well, they jumped the gun too much.
No way.
No.
Mm-mm.
And see, here's the thing about
court
this.
Court of public opinion.
Right. And here's the thing about this, too, is that they would rather give people refunds because they're not able to see a potential world champion rather than have that tarnish their reputation.
They even said, if you were going to go and see Tessa Blanchard, let us know, we'll give you a refund.
I mean, what does that say about the allegations?
Number one, I would like the person of, what was it called again?
Heavy Metal Wrestling.
Heavy Metal Wrestling. I would like the Heavy Metal Wrestling owner or promoter to come on the show and talk about what led to this decision overall, and if they heard anything different to what we have discussed now.
I mean, we've discussed quite a bit, but
I would have done the same exact thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
I would have done the same exact thing. Tessa Blanchard right now is literally in the hot seat, and I would not have any association with her.
So my question is, with the
WWE can keep Lars Sullivan and not care. They have the money to do so.
Right.
But Heavy Metal, I don't think they have WWE money. Nothing against heavy metal. They could be doing well for themselves, but at the same time, they're not WWE.
Right. They are taking a risk.
They would be taking a risk if they put Tessa Blanchard on the show.
Right. But they're also taking a risk by not having her.
But we will have Tessa Blanchard on our show to talk only about the allegations that have been presented to her.
So
with any kind of corroborating evidence, right. Tessa, the door is open. Send me an email.
Yeah, let us know. We would love to have more of these kinds of interviews on the show.
Oh, that'd be super fun.
I mean, something like this, like I said, it is all hearsay. But I think that a news story like this is going to remain so because of what.
If this happened in the 1990s, nobody would care. But this is now, and this is way too big for it not to be a thing. Right.
So I wonder, though, because the only reason we've brought it up was because so many wrestlers have vouched for these things that have happened.
More people have said, yes, this happened, than no.
Right. The only person to say no
is the person accused. Now, obviously, they're going to say no.
Right. And then Moose. Moose said no, but still.
But also, it was Moose in the locker room when she did that.
Right. And is Moose acting in the best interest of his reputation or the company?
I think he's acting in the best reputation of the company.
Yeah, I think he's a company
And you never
guy.
know.
Yeah.
He could say, oh, it wasn't racist. Now, there are a lot of black people during Hulk Hogan's thing.
Yeah.
Saying he is not racist. He was just in the heat of the moment. Now, I thought, that was on video. That's much different than what this situation was. Actions speak louder than words.
Right.
Now, if Hogan did grow up in this area, and I'm going to defend Hogan in what he said, he could have just talked about that specific person.
And see, that's the thing, too, is that I think that Hulk Hogan was just acting in the heat of the moment.
Obviously it was during a video that was not meant to be released.
And it was during a particularly tough time in his life.
Right.
And he was unhappy with the way things were going. He was unhappy with the relationship that Brooke was in. And it goes beyond race. But for Tessa Blanchard to say that women should support each other when there are many allegations coming to her where she has not supported other women and have belittled and put other women down in her own pursuit.
Where are the people coming out of the woodworks defending Tessa Blanchard?
Where are the women coming out? Where are the women in this? I mean,
Hulk Hogan had actually more people say, he's not racist. He actually pushed for me to be here or for me to wrestle against him because he knew, or, oh, this person's really white fucking hot. Let me work with him.
Right.
More people defended Hogan.
Where are the women defending Tessa Blanchard? Where are the women defending Tessa Blanchard?
Nothing against Moose, but let's have another woman in the locker room say, no, this did not happen.
Right. And, the most centric version I've seen was from a fellow Impact woman, Kiera Hogan.
Right.
Who had said...
Oh, shit, really? I didn't see this one. Go ahead.
So, I think it was Kiera. Hold on. Sorry.
Peanut Gallery, you need to have this shit ready if you want to cover this. You see why I do like hours of research beforehand and make sure that I'm correct, because I'm not going to sit here looking like a jackass.
Shut up!
Okay, obviously I'm kidding, but this is like Peanut Gallery's first like story, and this is like really interesting. So this is like, this just came out yesterday too.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he's looking it up now, but I'm at least going to put my 2 cents in while he's trying to figure his shit out. Apparently, he's a retard. Now, I will say one thing. Peanut Gallery and I have said stuff off of camera that I would not say to anyone face-to-face. But I talk to him because, one, he's my brother, and we try to pop each other. But I'm authentic about who I am. That's why I've never deleted my videos. That's why I've never done anything, because authenticity nowadays is the cornerstone of what you do as a entertainer, as a YouTuber, as a podcaster. You never want to hide from your past. I don't. I've said stuff on camera that I regret later, but it makes me better. that people can say, what about this? Yeah, I said that shitty thing, and I'm sorry. And guess what? If you do that and acknowledge that you had a problem, you move on.
Right.
Tessa Blanchard, you denying these allegations with nobody backing you is not the way to go.
No one's defended her. No one has.
If you stay totally silent right now, Tessa Blanchard should have stayed silent.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I would have said, guess what? I did this. Let me get this Impact World Champion or whatever, and then I might talk about it.
Right.
Do what Hogan did. Hogan did not say anything on Twitter. He went on television.
Right.
Forbes would have been more than happy to do a video interview with you.
It was Big Swole.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
So Big Swole says, so since we're telling stories, I won't speak on all the other stories, but the one on La Rosa, I know personally. So she knows La Rosa. And this past year, WrestleCade, I spoke to her about this. So I wonder, this actually happened, and Big Swole knew about it a year ago and said, let's hash it out with Tessa. Let's throw this, let's get this out of the way.
Right.
Because if Tessa had apologized a year ago, this wouldn't even come up.
But she didn't, clearly.
And people are entitled to deal with this how they want.
Right.
But that's the part of the story I think that people aren't getting, is that, look, people knew about this a year ago. And they threw it under the... Well, Tessa, at least, threw it under the rug. I don't know if La Rosa had anything to do with throwing it under the rug, but the problem is that now people are literally putting Tessa on a pedestal. Now, Tessa is literally the hottest woman in wrestling right now outside of WWE.
Right.
And now this comes out. And
that's why a lot of people are saying that this is fake, because it's too convenient. Now, I will say one thing. If they try to talk to Tessa as grown adults and hash this out privately, where, you know what, you apologize, you shake hands, you hug, you do whatever, you know, all is well, it ends well.
Right.
Maybe it was the heat of the moment. But the fact that Tessa did not say, hey, I made some mistakes in the past, I apologize, if this is true, because clearly there are more corroborating evidence to the matter.
Even from people on their own roster. And so, you know, to kind of sum it up is that... Now, before you say anything,
before we, go into anything, Big Swole, Rosa, Chelsea Green, anybody who wants to corroborate the thing with Tessa Blanchard, and including Tessa Blanchard, we are issuing an open invite.
Yes.
Come on the show. Let's talk about it. I want to hear from you. We're going to record it. We don't cut anything about our show. We are 110% authentic of what we say.
Right.
We're not going to, step on eggshells.
Right.
We're going to ask you the hard-hitting questions.
Yep.
Thunder Rosa, did this happen? Tessa Blanchard, are you an ass? We're going to do it.
So, anyways, my 2 cents is the thing is that you have to consider the position in which Tessa is now being placed in, and with something as monumental as this, you want to make sure you have a clean slate, and I don't think that Tessa has a clean slate.
Here are my sense, and I'm going to end this with an analogy, which I have used many of times, and Peanut Gallery will attest to this. A trip to Disneyland does not excuse beating your child. The good does not outweigh the bad. Tessa is a trendsetter in women's wrestling to points we have never seen other than Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. At least in this current century. You could argue for Stratus and Lita, but that was a different time. You, as Tessa Blanchard, if this happened and you know this, it's a lot easier to come out with it now and say, this did happen. I am sorry. People will accept that apology more than somebody coming out with a video and you still denying it.
Right.
You need to Atone for your sins more than anywhere. And this is not just for Tessa Blanchard. This is for anyone.
Right. Don't keep shit.
Look at Hogan. He has gone through so much shit, and he is still one of the most beloved people in wrestling today. And I hate bringing up Hogan again, but nobody else has had this much shit that's this racist other than Hogan. And Hogan's was taped. And yet, he apologized. He did this whole thing. He atoned for his sins.
Right.
More people defended him overall. And guess what? People accepted the apology. People accepted it. And now, he's back in WWE's good graces, and he's happy. And Tessa Blanchard has a thing where no videos come out yet. Atone for it now. Remember this, people. The good does not... let's try that again. The good does not outweigh the bad. Disney World does not excuse beating your children.
When we come back from the break, we are going to actually discuss the topic at hand and not spend 25 minutes on it. See you in a bit.
I don't know about